Hi Noah, my name is Julieta. I am from Colombia, and one thing I like from the podcast is that they give me a lot of fun ways to relax and don't be angry, and it's so cool for me. Thanks, bye.
Hello, I'm Noah, and this is Like You, a mindfulness podcast for kids. Thank you, Julieta, for sending in that message. I'm so glad you are my podcast friend. If anyone else would like to send a message, I would love to hear from you. Ask a grown-up to record a voice memo and email it to likeyoupod@gmail.com. They can find more info in the show notes on our website, likeyoupodcast.com. Today, we're going to talk about something that only you can do, and that's thinking your own thoughts and listening to your own ideas. Only you can do it because no one else has the same ideas as you. First, I want to invite any grown-ups listening to become a member of our Patreon group. When you join, you'll unlock early access to episodes and plenty of other perks like song downloads, handwritten letters, stickers, prints, and peeks behind the scenes. Our Patreon members are what makes this podcast possible, so join us at patreon.com/likeyoupodcast. Now, we're ready to start the episode, so find a place to listen where you'll feel comfortable and safe. Remember, it's okay for you to speak up during the podcast, especially if you hear me ask a question or if I invite you to say something with me. Of course, if you'd rather respond quietly in your head, that's fine too. First, let's breathe together. We will practice slow, deep breaths. Try breathing in through your nose while we count to 3, then breathe out through your mouth while we count to 3 again. Try it with me. Long breath in, 1, 2, 3. Now breathe out. 1, 2, 3. Once more. Long breath in. 1, 2, 3. Now breathe out. 1, 2, 3. Last time. Long breath in. 1, 2, 3. And breathe out. 1, 2, 3. Great job. Now we'll count to 3 one last time, but this time when we get to 3, we'll say, I like me. 1, 2, 3. I like me. I like you too. You have a wonderful brain, you have very interesting ideas, and you come up with creative thoughts no one else can. Today we're going to spend some time learning to listen to your own thoughts. To do this, I'm going to do something that has maybe never been done on a podcast. Podcasts are usually all about listening to sounds like stories and music, but today we're going to sit quietly in total silence. How does sitting in silence feel to you? Do you think it will be relaxing? Do you think it will be fun? I bet some of you think sitting in silence sounds boring. Do you ever feel bored? Like you can't think of anything you want to do? What if I told you one of the best things to do when you feel bored is to just be quiet for a moment? Sometimes we have our best ideas when we are quiet. Often, new, exciting ideas start by being bored. Because when you sit in silence, you've got nothing to entertain you except your own thoughts. So your brain may kick in with a new idea that you never would have thought of if you hadn't stopped to be quiet. So we're going to try it now. At first, you might think the podcast has ended, but it hasn't. I'm still here, sitting quietly with you. While we sit quietly, you can practice deep, slow breathing, and you can think about anything you want to think about. You could even try thinking about nothing, and just let your mind wander. You might surprise yourself. Your thoughts might be funny, or happy, or sad, or exciting. These thoughts are your very own, and we will all have different thoughts while we sit quietly. After a few moments of silence, I'll check in to ask what you've been thinking about. So first, close your eyes so you can tune out any distractions. Now I'm going to turn down the music, and we're going to sit quietly for 30 seconds, starting now. Are you still there? I'm here. How did it feel to sit in silence? Would you like to share any of the thoughts you had while you were quiet? If you want to, I'm listening. Sometimes sitting quietly is one of the best ways to come up with new ideas. Those thoughts you have while you're quiet could lead to an idea for a drawing, or a song, or a poem, or a story, or a game. Maybe after this podcast ends, you can make something from your thoughts. If you do, I'd love to see what you make. You can ask a grown-up to send your drawings, songs, or poems to our email address, likeyoupod@gmail.com. Next time you feel bored, you can try sitting quietly and seeing where your mind wanders and what new ideas are there inside you. Some people find extra inspiration by sitting outside, or in a favorite room, or just a favorite chair. You've got an amazing mind that's full of fascinating thoughts if you will stop and listen to your own ideas. Right now, it's time for Affirmations. We have a special guest who knows a thing or two about helping kids turn ideas into stories. Betsy Bird hosts a podcast called Story Seeds. The show celebrates creative kids like you by matching their story ideas with amazing children's book authors. On each episode, you get to listen in as they hang out and work together to grow a story idea. And then you get to hear the author read a short story they write inspired by their meeting. So, will you help me welcome Betsy? Let me hear you say, "Hi, Betsy."
Hello, I'm Betsy Bird. Will you say these affirmations with me? I'll say each one twice. Listen the first time, then say it with me the second time. I am full of imagination. I am full of imagination. Wonderful ideas come from inside me. Wonderful ideas come from inside me. My thoughts matter. My thoughts matter. No idea is too big or too small. No idea is too big or too small. The things that I make are important. The things that I make are important. No one else thinks the same thoughts as me. No one else thinks the same thoughts as me.
Thank you, Betsy. Now let's smile and take a few slow, deep breaths as we wind down our time together. I can't wait to spend some time together again soon. Until next time, I like you. I'm proud of you, and I'm glad we are friends. Have a happy and peaceful day. Like You is written and produced by me, Noah Glenn. I also composed and performed the Like You theme music. The podcast artwork was illustrated by Mia Saine. This episode features additional music by I Make Mad Beats. And today's affirmations were read by Betsy Bird. You can hear more from Betsy on the Story Seeds podcast. Visit storyseedspodcast.com for links on how to listen. You can also subscribe to their free Imagination Lab activity zines. These mini magazines offer more inspiration to create your own stories and keep growing your imagination. To all the grown-ups listening, please consider supporting Like You by visiting patreon.com/likeyoupodcast. It starts at as little as $3 a month, which is less than $1 per episode. If you're unable to offer financial support, you could still show us some love by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and by telling your friends about the show. You can find show notes on our website, likeyoupodcast.com, and you can also send us voice memos, drawings, and pictures by emailing likeyoupod@gmail.com. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at LikeYouPod. Thanks for listening.